What happens when a car known for quiet practicality suddenly grows in size, technology, and ambition? The 2026 Volkswagen Passat is no longer just sensible transportation and now challenges premium rivals. But does it lose its identity along the way? Hello everyone, welcome back to MVP Auto. Today we are taking a deep dive into the all-new 2026 Volkswagen Passat, a car that has quietly evolved into something much bigger, more refined, and surprisingly more ambitious than ever before. At first glance, the new Passat does not scream for attention, and honestly, we think that is intentional. The front design stays loyal to Volkswagen's understated philosophy, with a wide grille that blends seamlessly into slim LED headlights. The proportions feel more stretched, giving the car a lower and more planted stance. If we look closer, there are subtle details that elevate this design beyond just being simple. The horizontal emphasis across the front creates a sense of width, making the car appear more stable and road-focused. The R-line trim in particular adds slightly more aggressive bumper detailing and larger air intakes, but even then it avoids looking overly sporty. But here is where we start to question things. While the design is clean and mature, it arguably lacks the bold character we're now seeing from competitors. Cars in this segment are becoming more expressive, yet the Passat chooses restraint. We think this will appeal to traditional buyers who value timeless design, but it might not excite newer audiences looking for something visually striking or instantly recognizable on the road. Another point worth noting is visibility and practicality. The relatively upright front end and clean headlight integration actually help with forward visibility, something that often gets sacrificed in more aggressively styled cars. So while it may not win design awards for drama, it quietly succeeds in everyday usability, very much in line with what the Passat has always stood for. Moving to the rear, the Passat becomes more interesting. The full-width light bar adds a modern touch, visually widening the car and giving it a more premium presence. The subtle spoiler and clean tailgate design reflect a focus on aerodynamics rather than aggression. When we examine it more closely, the rear design shows a clear attempt to align with current design trends without overcommitting. The lighting signature is sharp and contemporary, especially at night, and it gives the Passat a more recognizable identity than previous generations. The lower bumper design, particularly on sportier trims, adds just enough visual weight to balance the overall proportions. What stands out here is how cohesive everything feels. Nothing looks over-designed, and every element seems to serve a purpose. The tailgate opening is also wide and practical, reinforcing the Passat's role as a highly usable family car, especially in its wagon form, which prioritizes cargo space and accessibility. However, we can't ignore that it still plays it safe. Compared to some rivals with sharper lines and more dramatic lighting signatures, the Passat remains conservative. Whether that's a strength or a weakness really depends on what you value. If you prefer a car that ages well and avoids looking outdated too quickly, this approach makes sense. But if you want something that turns heads instantly, the Passat might feel a little too reserved. Step inside, and this is where the biggest transformation becomes obvious. The cabin feels significantly more upscale than before, with improved materials, cleaner layouts, and a much stronger focus on digital interfaces. The seating comfort is a highlight. The Passat has always been known for long-distance comfort, and this new model continues that tradition with supportive seats and excellent legroom, especially in the rear. In fact, the increased size makes it feel closer to executive sedans than typical mid-size cars. However, we do notice a shift away from physical controls. Many functions are now integrated into touch surfaces, which can look modern but may not always be the most intuitive while driving. We think this is a trade-off between aesthetics and usability that not every driver will appreciate. Technology is clearly a major focus in the 2026 Passat. A large central infotainment display dominates the dashboard, paired with a digital instrument cluster that is customizable and sharp. There's also a strong emphasis on driver assistance systems. Features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and semi-autonomous driving capabilities are now more refined and integrated. On paper, this makes the Passat feel closer to premium offerings. But here's our honest take. While the tech is impressive, it can sometimes feel overwhelming. The interface requires a learning curve, and not all menus are immediately intuitive. We think Volkswagen is trying to push the Passat into a more tech-forward space, but it risks alienating drivers who prefer simplicity. Under the hood, the Passat continues to focus on efficiency and smooth performance rather than outright excitement. The 2.0-liter turbocharged engine paired with a dual-clutch transmission delivers solid acceleration, but it's not designed to thrill. On the road, the driving experience is composed and refined. The suspension absorbs bumps well, making it ideal for long journeys. Steering is light and predictable, which enhances comfort but does not provide much feedback. We think this is where the Passat stays true to its roots. It's not trying to be sporty, and that's perfectly fine. However, with competitors offering more engaging driving dynamics, some buyers might wish for a bit more character behind the wheel. Pricing detail for the 2026 Volkswagen Passat varies depending on the market, but based on current European positioning and trims like the R-Line, we're looking at a starting price around $40,000, climbing to approximately $50,000 for well-equipped versions. That places it in a very interesting position. It's no longer a budget-friendly family sedan. Instead, it sits right on the edge of the premium segment. And this raises an important question. At this price point, does the Passat offer enough to justify stepping away from more established premium brands?